Terrible video games are a plague upon society, polluting our beautiful ecosystem and corrupting the minds of poor innocent youths everywhere. And today we will be looking at 5 games so unequivocally objectively terrible that even Jesus himself refused to play them 2,000 years ago. But that way you know that this isn't just my biased opinion speaking in this video. Well, don't worry, because all of the amazing points made in this video have been taken from the geniuses you can find on Reddit and internet forums. So how about we get right into the 5 worst video games of all time. Elder Scrolls Oblivion is honestly horrible. It's terrible. It's a horrible video game, and those who like it have absolutely zero sense of adventure or ability to read. I mean, most notably, they basically tell you where everything is, rather than having to dig through a 5-page essay about some dumbass's life story, only for you to finally find the directions in half of a sentence like it's those clickbait articles on the internet. Instead, Oblivion literally gives you a magic compass that just tells you exactly where to go, like I'm supposed to be some sort of 3-year-old baby, leaving out all the exciting adventure that you might have, especially since they introduced the fast travel system, which, as we well know, is certainly not a thing that's ever existed in Elder Scrolls before. And I would know because I started with the first Elder Scrolls game, Morrowind, which was certainly the most complex in the series, and definitely has been a downward spiral since this game, and not before this game. And any older fan who says the exact same thing about my game for a game that released previously is just a hater and a wannabe. They don't understand the true love of Morrowind, the power. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is quite frankly absolutely horrendous. I mean, right off the bat, the most disgusting and horrible thing I've ever seen in my entire life is this dynamic turn-based combat system. I mean, for one, as we all know, turn-based combat is really terrible. If I'm not able to press the X button 70,000 times, then the combat must be bad. That's why Dragon Age 2 is just so much better. I mean, what? They want me to focus on the story? As if. I mean, look at these characters. They're so lame. I mean, you've got Cartho Nassi, who's just some boring guy whose entire family was murdered. You got Bastila, who's just like a plank of wood if you don't bother investigating her story. And they even have the audacity to suggest that the Jedi Knights might not be totally good themselves. I mean, that's absolutely incredulous. As someone who's seen the prequel 7,000 times, I can confirm that that was definitely not a theme that George Lucas was trying to touch upon. Not to mention, these characters are always doing goofy-ass things like swoop races and helping other people. Don't they know there's like a major story plotline that's going on? They gotta save the world. Why are they doing all these side quests? That's not Star Wars at all, as we know. Star Wars is only about the lightsaber battles, and anything else is just not Star Wars, quite frankly. And that's why I'm personally hoping that the remake gets rid of all these pointless side quests and uninteresting character dialogue, and makes sure the combat is just generic lightsaber action where the lightsaber is basically a baseball bat and doesn't do any cutting at all. That would make for a great game. SpiderMan PS4 is just a complete ripoff of the Arkham Asylum games. It's horrible. I can't believe they would take those games and expand upon them in ways that the Arkham games never did. It's just absolute disrespect. I mean, it's not like video games are just constantly inspiring other video games, and all the devs are actually totally okay with it because they all want to see each other succeed and not fail. And not to mention, it's also not like the Arkham Asylum games combat is in fact iterative of previous games like Lord of the Rings Return of the King. No way. Besides, the combat in SpiderMan PS4 is not even as good. And I would know because I haven't gone back to the Arkham Asylum games to find out that they were in fact very clunky in comparison to SpiderMan PS4. Also, I just can't understand why they made Spider-Man like this big dork.
From his elevated position, Spider-Cop spies his destination.
The real Spider-Man would never make any funny quips or make light of the situation. Really makes me think that the writers haven't even read a comic book before. To make matters even worse, there were stealth sequences that I did not know about. I was going into this expecting a full-on Spider-Man game where you just run up and punch people in the head just like I see in the Spider-Man movies, but then you just have to sneak around and be all stealthy like some kind of spider? Ridiculous. However, the final nail in the coffin, if you look in the distance where those boats are way off of the shore that you're not supposed to get close to, well, I zoomed in on the image and they don't look very good. So as we well know, that means this game is terrible. Elden Ring is an absolute disrespect to UI developers everywhere. You got this one guy who's working on this amazing map with all these custom icons on it, and then Elden Ring just comes in and doesn't have any of that? What the hell? Are you saying that you think those developers shouldn't exist? What the fuck is wrong with you, From Software? I mean, what the hell do you want me to do? Just go out there and explore and see what there is? I don't think so. I mean, sure, the game may actually be designed specifically to lead you to certain areas and find all the things you're supposed to find, unlike an Assassin's Creed game or an Elder Scrolls game where it's just a big empty world that things have just been plopped into. Not to mention, but the game is actually quite difficult if you don't grind or do any of the things that the game lets you to do. And I just don't understand that. I mean, come on, this is definitely supposed to be a Western game and clearly isn't just built off of Metrovania and JRPG values. And I would know personally as somebody who's never played any of those games. And that's why I think Elden Ring deserves a 1 out of 10. I hope they never make a game like this ever again. Because personally, if I can't play that game, then it shouldn't exist. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. Fucking hell. I've been addicted to this game. I've been playing it for like a week and a half straight since I broke my toe. And I don't understand why, but I can't stop playing this game. But it's fucking horrible. It's a horrible game. I want to stop. Every time I sit down and I play it, I'm like, why don't any of the NPCs interact with each other? Why did they get rid of marriage and friendships and marriage? Why is the diplomacy so basic? It's horrible. It's terrible. I can't stop playing it, but right now I'm literally forcing myself not to play that game because as soon as I turn on that PS4 and I start playing it, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop until I'm falling asleep. What the fuck is wrong with me? All right, I'll see you guys next Saturday. I've been trying to do consistent uploads on Saturday. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that every once in a while I start doing consistent uploads and it's always on a completely different day. But now it's Saturday. How long will that last? I don't know. Goodbye.